Alright, 7th grade pre-P, we're going to be doing indirect measurement. Now this is nothing different. It's just applying it to a different situation. We're doing similar figures, just slightly different. But it's the same process. Here, let me show you. Here's an example of indirect measurement. All we're doing is using a smaller measurement like this one, because we know how tall the guy is and how far he is from this point, because we can measure it to figure out how tall the actual tree is. So we're using indirect measurement. We're using this measurement to find this measurement. That's why it's called that. So let's do that. We set up similar figures. So we have two triangles. Here's one, and I'm going to set up a ratio for that one triangle. 5/15. Now I'm going to set another ratio up for the bigger triangle, which would be h/75. Now I cross multiply. 75 times 5, 375, equals 15 times h, which is just 15h. Now I'm going to solve this. 15 times something gives me 375. So that means I'm going to divide both sides by 15. So what I get is h equals 375 divided by 15, which is 25. And so now I know my height. My height of the tree is 25. We used indirect measurement to figure out the height of a tree. See, it's used to figure out things that you can't measure, but you can measure things up to that point. Here's another situation. Alright, you're going to have a triangle like this, and we're going to use proportions or indirect measurement to figure out the measurement of the other triangle. These two triangles are similar. They're both right triangles. That's how the problem's set up. So let's figure it out. We have this triangle and this triangle. Now you got to be careful because the triangles are flipped. You have to figure out what corresponding sides are, and corresponding sides means that the same side, but just a different figure. So I would say 300 and 450 are the same side. They're corresponding sides. And D is a corresponding side to 525. Let me use a different color here. D and 525. So let me set up a proportion for these. I'll do 450 for this triangle over 525 equals, on this one I have to use the same corresponding side, so it's got to be 300 over D. Here's a little bit better D. Now that I have it set up, I can cross multiply. So let me cross multiply on this one. D times 450 is 450D. $525 times 300 is 157,500. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 450. So that I get D is equal to 350. So D is 350. And that's it. That's all there is to it. It's the same thing as similar figures, so you kind of already know how to do this. Let's do another one. This one's a little bit different. It's got a triangle within another triangle. And this is how you can tell that they're similar. Here's this 20, and here's this 20. So basically what it's saying is ABC, this big triangle right here, is similar to this smaller triangle, which is right here. Okay? Now you see where the 20 is. That's the key, because what it's telling you is which sides are corresponding sides. So let me set that up for you. This side is the same as this side on the smaller triangle. This side is the same as this side on the triangle. And then last, this side, let's use something different. This side is the same as this side on the little triangle. So you kind of have to visualize it. What I would do is I would draw two different triangles. All right, let's go back. All right, now here's the problem set up. We want to figure out what AC is. What is this length right here? That whole length. That's what we want to figure out. So we have to set a proportion. Let's do the bigger triangle. Let's set up a proportion for it. Well, I'm going to use this side and this unknown side for my proportion. So that's how I'm going to set it up. 10 over x. Now I've got to look at the smaller triangle and figure out what the corresponding sides are. Well, let's look at it. Here's the 20 right here, and here's this 20. So that means those angles are the same. So that's like if I took this triangle right here and moved it and flipped it over here. It's kind of hard to say. So I'm going to redraw this triangle right here. Okay? Here, let me redraw it. This is D. This is C. And this is B. Now you see how I turned and switched it? I did that so it looks like this bigger triangle now. It looks like this thing. That's why I did it. So they look the same. So now I'm going to figure out what the corresponding side is. I did 10 over x. So here I need to do this side over this side. So CD is 8 over CB, which is 10. Now that I have the numbers, I can cross multiply. 10 times 10 is 100 equals x times 8, which is 8x. Divide both sides by 8, and you get x is equal to x is equal to 12.5. That's kind of a harder problem. Now, if you got more issues with this, if you don't understand, we'll go over some more examples in class. But try your best. And that's it, folks.